The way I live my life, I'm forced to slow down. And I'm forced to, what's that phrase? Like, stop and smell the roses. You know, I'm forced to do that a lot of the time in my life. I really wish that there was a way for everyone to spend just one day of their life in a wheelchair. And this is how we live our lives. Stop. Alexa, good morning. So I have an alarm. It'll go off a little bit before my caregiver arrives.
Today in Palatine, sunrise was at 5:35 a.m.
Just to prepare myself. You know, it's a lot when you need caregivers every single day.
Hi, good morning. How are you?
Especially when you got, like, you need someone in the morning, you need someone at lunchtime, and you need someone in the evening. Like, there's never a day where you're, like, fully alone. My name is Kevin Sullivan. So I was born with a condition known as Arthrogryposis Multiplex Congenita, or AMC. In terms of my arms, I can raise it to like about there and about there on both arms. And then legs I can raise to like about there. My very first day of kindergarten, I tripped on a chair in the classroom and fell over. So I kind of realized it pretty quickly that I was a little different. I am able to walk with the assistance of these bilateral AFOs, or ankle foot orthotics. After they put the orthotics and the shoes on me, I go to the bathroom. Unfortunately, I don't possess the ability to do certain things. So I need an assistant to help with, like, you know, lowering my pants or wiping my butt, helping with the shower, brushing my teeth, putting on deodorant. 1, 2, 3. You kind of have to be comfortable with it. There's really not a whole lot of choice with a disability. You know, if you want to experience life in a meaningful way, like, sometimes you got to be comfortable with being uncomfortable. Oh, it's going to be showing off a lot of chest hair. Alexa, turn off primary bathroom. I do use like the mouse and the keyboard usually, and I'll kind of type like this with like one hand on top of the other. And I use my fan key. I'm pretty quick for the most part. So in my office, I have a standing desk. It is adjustable because, you know, sometimes my back just needs it. Growing up in like the digital age, I think has really benefited me a lot. Like, I can like turn on voice access. And that'll allow me to control it with my voice. On something like this, where it's mostly pictures and just like short captions, I don't typically have to use it as much. I use it more like when my arms are getting tired and I just don't feel like typing anymore. I can open different applications, scroll with it, kind of the same thing as my phone. And like, I would say I usually always have my phone on me. And I think it's just like more of like a safety thing at this point. It's like, well, if I don't have it, then I'm pretty screwed. So I pretty much just always have it on me. My lunch aid comes in around 11:30. Yeah, this is my lunch aid, Ian Nars. Ian, say hello to everybody.
Hello.
Sometimes I have to remind them that I want grown-ass man bites. I think sometimes people who are parents fall into this habit of like, oh, I got to make it like as small as possible, you know, but no, I'm an adult, you know. There's always that bit of awkwardness no matter what, but I think it helped that, like, I did know Ian prior to him helping me. Just like a couple spoonfuls in each. Unfortunately, while it can feed me the food, it cannot prepare the food or put the food into the plate. So that is, you know, something that I have to keep in mind throughout the day, that if I do want to use it and take advantage of it, it is also something that I have to plan for. I can do certain things without a caregiver. I can leave, I can, you know, run errands, I can attend certain events. I really wish that people understood how much planning goes into things. So like, for instance, like, open like Google Maps. Let's say like Bourbon Street. You start walking on Street View. You'll see right here, here's a sidewalk closed ahead sign right here. And it's like, well, I can't go here today. Depending on where you are in the country, certain areas are more pro sidewalk than others. And that can definitely be a big factor in like where I choose to travel and where I choose to live. I do want to visit all 30 ballparks in my lifetime. And generally speaking, like stadiums are pretty accessible. So I played in a baseball league for people with disabilities who love baseball because there's not always action. There are breaks in the action. And I think that's kind of the beauty of it, is that I'm not always in a rush to be doing something, or I'm not always, trying to bounce from one thing to the next. All right. Go ahead and turn it on here. It'll turn and bow to me. All right, and now we can go ahead and get the process started. So we'll start with this bottom right. Oh, and I clicked the wrong button. That's okay. We'll go back around. All right, and we'll select the food, and then it'll bring it up to my mouth. And it has its flaws and its limitations, but I do think it's exciting progress for assistive technology in general, and who knows what else can come after this. This is my vehicle that I use for getting around town. It's definitely one of the most technologically advanced wheelchairs I've had. I control it with the head array, which is these 3 sensors at the top here. So there's a left one for turning left, a right one for turning right, and then the middle one is for forwards and backwards, actually. This wheelchair also has what's called eye level technology, which means that I can raise the seat up to someone's eye level, which comes in very handy in crowded events and bars, anywhere where there's high tables for sure. Come at me, bro. The way I live my life, I'm forced to slow down. And I'm forced to pause and, what's that phrase? Like stop and smell the roses. I'm forced to do that a lot of the time in my life.
I got you covered.
Thanks. So I have to be patient every single day of my life, right? I'm always running on other people's schedules and other people's time. So you got to be efficient with your time. Like if an evening aide is only here for 4 hours, 4 hours can go by really quickly.
Well, I'll get here, and typically the first thing is we'll go to the bathroom, and then depending what errands he has to run that day, whether that be going to the grocery store to get some stuff, going on a walk if it's nice out, weather permits, and then coming back and just hanging out, winding down from the day.
Alexa, search 2016 World Series Game 7.
Honestly, just being couch potatoes, watching some movies until it's time for bedtime and help him out with his bedtime routine.
I think it's always awkward at first. Like, it doesn't even matter, like, if it's, like, male, female, whoever. It's like, here's this random person that you don't know, and now all of a sudden they're taking you to the bathroom and, wiping your butt and doing things like that. It's one of those things that you just kind of learn to deal with.
I got some of this the other day.
Yeah, it's good stuff, right?
It is.
Mm-hmm.
You've inspired me.
Oh, really, Dana inspired you. That was her idea.
Oh, true.
Before I go to sleep, my aide will take off my splints and shoes. Without these, I'm unable to walk. I have heard plenty of horror stories of people being stuck in bed, hours or, even worse. So I know it does happen. I think about it all the time. Like if I had been born 60, 80, 100 years ago, how different my life would have been. I definitely think it's better for me to have my autonomy and have my own space. It's something that we all strive for, whether we are disabled or not. And I don't think I'm too different in that regard. I just had to find a different way to do it. It wasn't exactly the way that even I wanted to do it, but it worked in the end. And I think it's important for everybody to be able to achieve that at some point in their lives.